Welcome to yet another AM update. Today's topic is Tylenol, as you read in the headline. Tylenol, Tylenol, Tylenol. Mr. Trump and Mr. Kennedy made an announcement. The Tylenol had something to do with autism. And the Democrats lost their minds. Their hive minds. Their collective minds. They're crazy. They're nuts. They're taking Tylenol like mad just to prove him wrong, with dangerous side effects, because acetaminophen poisoning is a real thing. There are tens of thousands of cases of it every single year. So what's going on? He was saying that pregnant women shouldn't take acetaminophen because there's evidence of neurodegenerative damage, autism, ADHD. And of course, the left has now gone out of its way to prove, with dangerous consequences, that he's wrong. But is he? WebMD, pregnant and taking Tylenol? 5 things to know right now. They published this on September 23rd. President Donald Trump announced Monday that the FDA would consider changing the safety label on acetaminophen, commonly known by the brand name Tylenol. So you scroll down. Number 1, there's no proof Tylenol causes autism. And then WebMD goes on and on and on and talks about studies and research and blah, 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 blah. And it insists that it's perfectly safe. And I will remind you, as with almost everything, the dose makes the poison. So yeah, there are incidences where there are things that are perfectly safe in small doses that become dangerous once you hit the point where the dose makes it poison. The American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. Acetaminophen in pregnancy. Guess how they landed? Acetaminophen is safe. It's okay for pregnant women to take it. The Cleveland Clinic, Health Essentials. This was from March. Can you take acetaminophen while pregnant? Yes, you can. New research shows the popular over-the-counter pain reliever is safe. Is it safe during pregnancy? Well, of course it is. That's what the Cleveland Clinic says. We even have President Obama, who came out and said, we have people in power making broad claims around certain drugs and autism that have been continuously disproven. The degree to which these comments can undermine public health, do harm to women who are pregnant, create anxiety for parents who do have children who are autistic, is violence against the truth. Is it? It's a Harvard study. When children are exposed to acetaminophen, also known by the brand name Tylenol or as paracetamol, during pregnancy, they may be more likely to develop neurodevelopmental disorders, NDDs, including autism and ADHD, according to a new study. If you go to the new study, results. We identified 46 studies for inclusion in our analysis. Of these, 27 studies reported positive associations, meaning significant links to NDDs. 9 showed null associations, no significant link, and 4 indicated negative associations, protective effects. The higher quality studies were more likely to show positive associations, meaning significant links to NDDs. Overall, the majority of studies reported positive associations for prenatal acetaminophen use with ADHD, ASD, or NDDs in offspring, with risk of bias and strength of evidence ratings informing the overall synthesis. So that's the study they're citing. And then, you search the internet when things like this happen, and there's a lot of great memes about Democrats taking Tylenol. I'm going to share a whole bunch of them today on the Friday meme thing, so make sure you check that out at noon Eastern Time or any time after that. 4 years ago, the CBC in Canada aired a story warning Canadians about Tylenol in pregnancy. Increase the risks of certain neurodevelopmental, reproductive, or urogenital disorders. Tylenol, in February of 2017, on X, and it's still there, posted, we actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant. Thank you for taking the time to voice your concerns. Tylenol, the makers of Tylenol, don't recommend you use their products. Well, what about the Cleveland Clinic? What about all this other stuff? WebMD. I mean, the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, they all say it's safe. Let's be fair. It can be used. But studies show that use can produce a risk. It's a risk, like everything else, good and bad. Some drugs you have to take to deal with an issue that you have that if you didn't would make your life miserable, but they have side effects that aren't as bad as if you didn't take it. That's just the way it goes. So you have to make that decision between yourself and your doctor. But the point of this is that Democrats are losing their minds. If you go on X, you will find lots of headlines from lots of sources, including CNN, who say, oh, acetaminophen, it's bad for pregnant women. you shouldn't take it, or you should consult your physician, or you should do all these other things. And now they're like, we're going to take acetaminophen like there's no tomorrow. And guess what? They are. Check this video out.
The ring of fire.
And then the real tragedy is this one.
So it's about, it's going to be 6 a.m. finally. And for those of you who don't follow me on Twitter, I recommend that you do. I got a call, a very frantic call at 4 o'clock in the morning from a husband whose wife is now dying of liver failure on a ventilator in an ICU because she was trying to prove that Tylenol doesn't cause autism because of what Trump said on the news. Mind you, that's a Harvard study. Now, whether or not you believe the Harvard study or not is not the issue here. The issue is that she's somewhere between 23 to 25 weeks and she overdosed on Tylenol. And she's going to die. She's not going to come off that ventilator. And the guy got my phone number from somebody. Somebody gave it to him. And it's just so sad because he has to make the choice of them going and trying to emergency deliver this baby, and the baby may not survive. The baby's going to spend a long time in the NICU. Hopefully the baby will survive. And remember, guys, preemies have complications even if they do survive. I didn't ask him if he had more children. So, let's say this woman they had more children. They lost their mother. Baby's not going to grow up with the mom. He lost his whole life if this baby dies too. All because of TikTok challenges, guys. Everybody wants, not everybody, but maybe these crazy liberal women. They literally hate Trump so bad that she killed herself and her baby potentially.
So some people are questioning the legitimacy of this last one. They're saying that it's a similar story that's been around online, and different people have told it with different ways, but it kind of has the same, plot points. It's funny. I watch TV and I see these medical shows, and then the writers emphasize things. And if you watch The Pit on HBO, it's a really good show. The first season, I can't even count the number of times they mentioned how dangerous acetaminophen is and how many people overdose on it. It's hilarious. They're just sending the message. Well, guess what? People are overdosing on acetaminophen because Donald Trump told them they shouldn't take it if they're pregnant. It's crazy. So what the hell? What is wrong with you people? Why is it that Donald Trump says something and you go out and do exactly the opposite? Well, a lot of people are posting memes about Darwin. So maybe he's right. You all lined up for the shots. Some of you are getting turbo cancers. Some of you have just dropped dead. So the world is a strange and crazy place. My advice is this. Just because Donald Trump says it doesn't mean you should run out and do the opposite, especially if it might be dangerous to your totally innocent, unborn, unpropagandized baby, especially if you want that baby. That's it. Talk to you tomorrow.